Woof. Woof. Wow. Wow. Get him, boy. Good boy. Good boy. Come on in, Sully. Come on, bring your boyfriend or your husband with you. Come on, don't be scared now.
Nope, I'm away enough already.
Don't be scared. Oh. I'll wait. I'll wait for you, Sully. Come on in and tell me about myself. No? No, you're not going to? Come on. I'll put a link in for you if you want me to. Come on in and tell me about myself. Come tell me about myself. How accurate is Precious Angels? That is like one of the most accurate on the guilty side. There are some mistakes in it, but minute mistakes. I think Barb Davis got her birth date wrong, a couple of dates wrong. But other than that, Precious Angels is a pretty good book that points towards her guilt. Now the second one is, matter of fact, tear it all up, boy. Where is it? See, I got Hush Little Babies, Precious Angels, and Flesh and Blood. This is me here. That's Precious Angels, written by Barbara Davis. Barb Davis also went on the Lisa Gibbons show. You can look it up here on the Truth Serum. I don't know about that. That I haven't heard about. The Truth Serum. Unless it's somewhere in this one of the this talks about the funeral. Inside the chapel, family members gathered sorrowfully around the two boys, but they stepped aside as Darlie and Darren walked towards the coffin. Darlie handed her husband the bear she had held throughout the service. The two little stuffed bears were tucked into the coffin with the boys. 2 red Swiss Army knives and a deck of magic cards were also placed in the coffin. The father stood close to his sons for a long time. He sobbed and touched them, speaking to his boys one last time. As family hovered nearby, he told them, "This isn't goodbye. We'll see them all again." As the families tried to comfort Darren, Darlie busied herself by looking at the names on the flower arrangements and comforting relatives. Darlie's dress was again inappropriate. She wore a white dress edged in black with quarter-length sleeves and a plunging neckline. The grieving mother had tucked a pill bottle of anxiety drug Xanax between her breasts. When she noticed a particularly emotional family member, she went to attend to the person, taking her pill bottle out and telling them, "Here, take one. For heaven's sake, calm down."
Are you looking to sell your vehicle? Don't waste your time listing it.
Yeah, the books are not evidence, but Barb Davis also claims to know that case. She said she was there when she came on the Lisa Gibbons show at first, and she was saying, "I know that case." She took the lie detector test. She failed it. She did this, she did that, she's guilty, blah, blah, blah. And then Cirilda turns around and threatens to sue her, Darren's mom. Threatens to sue Barb Davis. And then Barb Davis, the next segment, Darlie is innocent, blah, 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 blah. She said she was going to write a book about her innocence and never did. Barb Davis herself had her house raided in North Ridgeville, Texas. I think it was 1999. On a drug raid, there was the police suspected there was growing marijuana, and the drug GHB was in there. And when they came in, her son Troy came at the police with a gun, and they shot and killed him. So she didn't have much love for the police after that. Now this one, Patricia Springer, that wrote the Flesh and Blood. On June 14th, 8 days after the murders, and the day that Devin Routier would have turned 7 years old, a private service for the boys was held at the cemetery in the neighboring city of Rockwall. At the gravesite, in the midday heat, a tearful pray for service was led by Reverend Gordon Thomas. Randy Reagan. Randy Reagan is the one that you'll see going through the house after the murders and walking through with the reporter. That's Randy Reagan. Randy Reagan is also one of the people that you see Darren come out of the courtroom after the guilty plea. That's Randy Reagan on one side and Dion on the other. Randy Reagan, Darren's cousin, spotted a Dallas Morning News reporter standing near the dozen or so people invited for the final farewell. Reagan requested that he respect the family and remain a reasonable 100 yards back from the gravesite. The reporter moved back as requested. Once the scriptures, thoughts, and prayers had been said, both Darlie Routier and her mother, Darlie Malk Peck Stahl Key, now on her third marriage, walked to the reporter to grant an interview. Eight-month-old Drake fretted and fussed as he was passed from one person to another. He was hot, tired, and confused by the disruption of this schedule. Yeah, so the books are not always factual. 168 and Precious Angels. I don't take a lot of these things to in the books. Here's 168, Dr. Lisa Clayton. Nevertheless, Darlie had told her family that the police had given the sodium pentothal to her in liquid form, but she had thrown it up. There is only one problem with this story. Sodium pentothal can only be injected. It cannot be ingested. 2 days after Darlie's arrest, the police tape surrounding the Routier family home was cut, and family members were allowed inside to remove their belongings. Darren had already publicly stated that he had no intention of ever living in the house again. The lit foundation emitted such a warm glow at night, beckoning children to come and play, had become a shrine. People had left stuffed animals, balloons, flowers, and personal notes to the boys, and expressing their sorrow. The fountain was hauled off, later to be sold. Neighbors watched, and many helped, as Darren packed up the furniture and drove away. The house stood empty, the walls stripped bare. When Darren Routier drove away from his home on Eagle Drive for the last time, 2 pairs of children's sneakers remained neatly lined up on the front porch. You can't take a pill? The sodium, let's look that up. What's it called? Sodium, let's take a look. Sodium pentothal. Well, what sodium pentothal is actually, according to this, that's not it. Yeah, pentothal is an anesthetic prior to administration of other anesthetic agents. Is sodium pentothal used as a truth serum? That's a term that was used to describe the use of certain drugs, most commonly barbiturates like sodium amytal and sodium pentothal, to try and extract truthful answers from people about their past experiences. What is the name of the truth drug? Ether. It says ether. Truth serum. Let's see. Does it come in tablet form? Let's see. This is all injections, according to this. Yep, it says right here, pentothal, thiopenol, sodium for injection. It's this as the sole anesthetic agent for brief procedures, like getting a stent out or something like that, or for an epidural. They'll put that injection of that, and then they'll get the epidural. Just for muscle relaxation. That's all it says that drug is for. But it doesn't say anything about it coming in a pill form. That's what it says. It says it's injections. At any rate. Yeah, these books, I mean, there are some things in them. A lot of it hasn't been brought up at trial. But once Barb Davis was threatened to be sued on national TV, she changed her story real quick. Yes, that is true. And if you look, I have a video up that's got Mr. Reagan walking through there with a reporter, and you can still see some of their toys and some of their clothes and some of their stuff just sitting. I've never seen that box of stuff. It didn't come up in court, but I've heard that a couple different times. Yeah, they just kind of left. Somebody's at the door. Somebody's at the door, Nicole. And I guess that was that DoorDash or something.
Yes, heart.
Oh, that's cool. The dogs will bark if somebody they don't recognize comes near the home. Why didn't Domain bark that night? Domain usually had to run to the house, and that night he was up in a bedroom by himself. And even, the Domain did snap at Lieutenant Grant Jack, I think his name was. He snipped at him, and Darlie did make the statement, and that he always acted like that when strangers were around. And to top that off, like my dog can sense anything going on in the house, right? And then you had the blood. The dog didn't. He was. I think he was put up for a reason. And she did say he always acts like that when strangers are around. So he didn't hear the noise. He didn't smell the blood. And he didn't start barking until there were strangers around. That's my answer to that. Yeah, they had him put up. So, like I said. At any rate, this kitchen table research is also doing the case, and she's getting things wrong, and it's pissing her off that I know the facts like that. So she's claiming to, put up all this troll stuff that you know what? This is gonna be the same shit that everybody says. I'm gonna put this up. I'm gonna put that up. I'm gonna put this up, and it's the same fucking shit that they've been doing for years here. The same shit, and then they feel stupid when I prove my way out of it. So, no, nobody here is a felon. No, children's services isn't involved in my life. You put up whatever you find. You're pissing me off, bitch. Is what you're doing. Peace, chicken grease.